Hey, good evening. Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners, and this is my new 5-minute meals show, not to be confused with $5 Dinners and our Dinner Made Easy show that we do. We're going to start this new show in the new year, and this is just a little preview for you. We're going to do these on Sundays, and we're all about make-ahead meals. Make-ahead meals that we can make this week, and then make-ahead meals that we can put into our freezer. And my hope is that in the next 10 minutes, we can put together 2 meals. I've picked 2 meals from my Freeze Easy and our web and mobile apps to show you exactly how to do this. We have really specific types of recipes that we do with our make-ahead freezer meals, and they're fast, and you're going to see that here. Actually, my overall goal is to do 10 meals in an hour's time, so we're going to cut that back just for the sake of your time and mine to see if we can get 2 meals done in the next 10 minutes. So we're going to get 2 5-minute meals done. Hey Elaine, hey Stacy, glad you guys are joining me this evening. So I'm going to show you quickly the recipes that we are going to make real quick. We're going to do a roasted cod that you can see right here, and we are also going to make a slow cooker apricot chicken. We're going to do both of those right here. I have everything ready to go. Both of these are what I call sort of like dump style dinners, right? Where we're just going to dump stuff into a bag. In the case of the cod, we're going to do it into a tray. These are super fast. There's very little prep that needs to go on with both of these types of recipes. And I will say we're freezing the core of the recipe. These are like what I consider to be meal starters. They're not necessarily the entire meal. These are not our one dish dinners where we cook everything in the, like a veggie loaded chili where like you could basically just serve an entire meal right out of the crock pot, right? That's a little bit different. These are more of like meal starters. So when it comes time to cook, you can see that apricot chicken is made over rice. So we're going to do the rice right before we cook it. We'll either do it on our Instant Pot, we'll do it in the oven. There's lots of different ways you can do that, right? Whatever vegetables that you have that your family likes that are in season that you've got in your freezer, those can also be a side dish or a salad or something like that. So you'll see here I have some suggested side dishes, like just warm up some dinner rolls. I love to get those big 3 dozen bags of dinner rolls at Costco. They reheat really nicely after being frozen. So I just like to have these types of things already on hand in my freezer so I can quickly throw together some side dishes for meals like this one. So let's get started with these 2 meals. We're making roasted cod with pesto, and we're making slow cooker apricot chicken. So that's my intro. I still might be able to pull this off in 10 minutes, so let's switch views here real quick. All right, we're going to start with the chicken. We're going to put the chicken into bags, and you'll see why I call these dump style. I'm going to back this camera up real quick. That's too close. Oh, my goodness. Hang on. Sorry. Is that a little further away? A little better. All right, it's still pretty close up. So what we're going to do is put the chicken into the bags. And then we're going to mix up the sauce real quick. Dump style dinner right here. Okay. Let me turn this so it's a bit easier for you to see. So I'm going to do 4 chicken breasts. You could do chicken thighs. You could do a mix of chicken breasts and chicken thighs. But I would go with boneless, skinless version because I just would. It just makes it easier after you've cooked it. You've got this amazing chicken floating in this delicious sauce that we're going to mix up here in just a second. So what we're going to add to this chicken, we're going to sprinkle a tiny bit of salt and pepper on. You can always add salt and pepper later if you like, but we'll just add a smidge, a couple pinchfuls. Alrighty, and then let's mix up our sauce. And you can see the sauce recipe right here, and I will drop links. You can see the sauce recipe right here. So I'm using chicken breast, but you could use chicken thighs. You want about a pound and a half, or however much your family will need, right? Okay. You tracking with me? Who's with me? Who's with me? Apricot chicken is super delicious. It's using a store-bought French dressing. You could use like a Russian salad dressing as well. I think that would be really great. We're looking for that tanginess. And that tanginess is going to go real nicely with the sweetness from the apricot preserves. So what we're going to do, I have a larger jar of apricot preserve, so I need to scoop them out because I don't need to use this whole jar. So we need to do about a cup. 8-ounce jar is about a cup. We're going to thin this out. Hey, Rachel. We're going to thin this out with some ranch dressing. No, this is not ranch. Listen to me. French. My word. Okay, also I wanted to share with you guys. Hook me up if you're watching The Crown this weekend. If I like spontaneously bust out into an English accent, it's because I spent a good chunk of time this weekend watching The Crown on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go back and start season 1, and season 2 just was released. So you could binge on 2 seasons. Who's with me on The Crown? Who else is watching The Crown this weekend? I seriously might start saying quite right and things like that. Maybe speaking in an English accent. All right, we're going to add, hi Kathleen and Joyce. We're going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. You could do minced garlic if you wanted to. A teaspoon of if you have minced garlic in the fridge. And we're going to do 2 tablespoons of minced onion. Love all these flavors together. That tang from that French dressing is so good. Again, you could use Russian salad dressing. We have the sweetness and the apricot preserves. And then this garlic and onion. So this is going right on top of this chicken. You tracking with me? Dump style dinner right here. So we're done with one. You can actually see that okay, huh, with this bowl right up on the camera. No one else is watching The Crown this weekend? It's only me? Surely.
Me too.
You watched a couple episodes, yeah. My son watched a little bit from, there was an episode of Prince Charles as a young boy.
And another one.
And you watched a little bit of that episode. There are some inappropriate for children episodes, I will say that. So be warned. Okay, so that's one. One done. That was 5 minutes. I'm actually timing this. That was 5 minutes. I did my 2-minute intro, and here we are on this. So I'm going to get this so this is nice and coated, and I can just drop this right into the slow cooker, just like this. So that's one. Now this one's even easier. Cod with pesto. You could make your own pesto. Of course, that'll add a little bit of time. But this is store-bought. Go with store-bought. I love store-bought pesto. I love homemade pesto. I love them both. Go with whatever you have time for. Roxanne, you've watched it all. You go, girl. You binge race that one. Binge racing. Roxanne wins. Okay, so we're going to just do hefty dollops onto each of these cod fillets. We're going to coat it. And let me show you over here. Let me flip this over to the other recipe. This is what it looks like when it's baked. You see that there? That's what it is when it's all finished baking. All right, let me switch back modes so you can see. There we go. So in the first couple minutes, we did the slow cooker apricot chicken. And just now we did, and you can see how easy it is. This is 2 ingredients. This is cod and pesto. And then, of course, like I mentioned at the top, you can make whatever side dishes you want. If you have some salad on hand that you need to use up, if you have some frozen broccoli. I typically do more inexpensive sides when I'm making seafood because seafood is more expensive. And when I'm trying to do a budget-friendly meal, I like to do inexpensive sides. I usually, pretty much all the time, every time, there's brown rice on our table when we do seafood. Pretty much every single time. That's pretty much a given. And so something like, inexpensive frozen vegetables, or if there's, broccoli on sale or whatever might be on sale, right? So that's that. All right, so I've been live for 9 minutes. The first 2 minutes of that was chatting. And here we are with our 2 meals ready to go. So let's do a quick recap. Who needs a recap? Who needs a recap? And I'm also glad I'm not the only one who is binge watching The Crown this weekend. That makes me happy. Me and Roxanne. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend. Fairly historically accurate from what I've heard and read. I haven't done much Googling, but pretty much all I want to do now is read up on the royal family. That's basically what I might do all day tomorrow. Not really. I got work to do. Okay. Recap. This is what we just did. Make ahead meals. This is make ahead meals we can make this week. Both of these also you can freeze just like this. So if you want to freeze these, you can freeze them. Or if you want to just cook them, you can cook them. This is the fastest way you can possibly do this. You guys can't see me over here, but I'm like punching things. I'm like, this is like so fast. This is the fastest way. Elaine girl, you and me both. Let me tell you about my week. Tomorrow we have OT, scouts, and 2 basketball practices in a 3-hour window. Help me now. I'm pretty sure this slow cooker chicken will be our dinner tomorrow night. We have basketball game, winter concert, and then Friday. Whoa! I like the week is over and we haven't even started, right? Like 'tis the season, both busyness, both holiday, school, activities, all the things, and this is what keeps me sane, right? This is what keeps me sane. This cod was frozen, and I'm going to let it finish thawing out. It's actually frozen right now, and I'm going to let it thaw with the pesto on it and cook it. Probably, maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I can't decide. I'm tempted to do this tomorrow because of our crazy schedule, but this is equally as easy to make. So we'll see. Tomorrow is still a TBD, but one of these two will be for tomorrow's meal. We also, let's do our recap. I told you this is 5-minute meals. We did make both of these meals in less than 10 minutes, so 5 minutes each. So this is cod with pesto on top. It's super easy. Whatever side dish you would like to make with it, make the side dish. Brown rice, I tend to do veggies, salad, whatever you have that's inexpensive in season that you got on sale at the store, make it with this. Number 1. Meal number 2. Slow cooker apricot chicken. So this is 4 small chicken breasts. We mixed up a cup of apricot preserves, a half a cup of French dressing, salad dressing. You could also use like a Russian salad dressing. You want a tangy dressing. We mixed that with 2 tablespoons of minced red onion and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Mixed all that up, stirred it all together, and then just dumped it right in there with the chicken. This chicken can slow cook on low all day. If you're in a pinch, you could do high for 4 hours, but I would suggest low for 8 hours. When it's done cooking, you can serve it with whatever side dishes you want. Dinner rolls, rice, veggies, salad, whatever, mashed potatoes. I don't know if you remember, I went to the store right after Thanksgiving and got a ton of mashed potatoes, and I got most of them into the freezer. What we didn't eat for dinner that night or that week went into the freezer, and so we're still eating mashed sweet potatoes in our house. So that's an easy, inexpensive side dish for us. So that is that. The cod is only going to take about 8 or 10 minutes at 350. Yes, it won't take very long. It'll depend and slightly on how one of these is. This one right here is, well, both of these two actually are fairly tall. This one's a little bit thinner. So you'll just want to make sure that they're cooked all the way through, nice and white and flaky, but they shouldn't take more than 10, maybe 12 minutes at 350. You can maybe pop it up to 400 if you want to get a little crispiness on this pesto. You could probably pop it up to 400 and it would only take 8 minutes to cook them. So those are your times. These are our 2 5-minute meals. We are going to be back in the new year with this every single week. I want to help encourage you and inspire you to, I'm going to switch back here. I want to help encourage and inspire you to get ahead of dinner, right? We're going to continue to do our Kitchen Hacks live show. We're going to do our Dinner Made Easy show in the middle of the week, the crazy busy weeknights. We're still going to do that. But I want to help do this on Sundays because I know Sundays is a lot of, for most of us, I know everybody's schedule is a little bit different, but for most of us, Sundays is a day where we are starting to look at the head of the next week, looking at our schedule. My husband and I sat down and went through our schedule this week, like who's taking what kid where, when, right? So we're looking at all that, and Sunday's a great time to just be thinking ahead about dinner. And so that's my hope for you. This is what helps me stay sane. This is what helps me get through these nights where we have 4 activities in 3 hours in different parts of town, right? So this is what is this is my hope, this is an inspiration to you to have new ideas for fresh, delicious, and fast meals, 5-minute meals. That's legit, right? Like, I know we've been chatting here for the last couple minutes kind of in this intro, but my hope is that these videos in the future will only be 10 minutes of me prepping 2 different meals. So I'll add the 2 recipes here on the video. Check those out. I'll put the links here for you. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Hope you have an amazing week. I know life is really crazy right now. My encouragement to you and what I was telling myself earlier today was like, one thing at a time. Like I was wrapping gifts to ship to family, like one thing at a time. I know the holidays we can get really overwhelmed, but just focus on the one thing in front of you. And for me right now, that's dinner. And I hope you take a couple minutes to think about what you're having for dinner this week so you don't have to stress about it later on. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for our Dinner Made Easy show. Have a great rest of your evening.